I'm back. There's a tortoise burrowing into my computer under my desk. I have a brand new standard deck. Things couldn't be better. This is Oldmanpoole. I've got something exciting to share with you guys. So over the last, couple of weeks, ever since Iconic Master rotated out of the format, I suppose, I've been kind of looking for something to do with my time. Didn't really want to go right back towards Ixalan drafting. Wasn't really in love with the format. I don't think many people were, so I don't know how many people really wanted to watch more of it either. So I've been saying for a long time I should really try and get into Constructed and maybe test my sea legs out there a little bit. Oh, sea legs, conquistadors, pirates, look at that. And this felt like as good a time as any when, Limited's not really quite scratching the itch I wanted to, and this deck looked pretty sweet. I feel like it's a little bit outside of the norm for what you see in Standard, although I think like either tier 2 plus or tier 1 minus, like it's been pretty good to me. I played through 3 leagues now. I went 3-2, 4-1, and 3-2 again. This is my attempt to show you guys. Hopefully this is a good run. In short, this is Mono White Vampires. It was originally played by Wilson Hunter at Pro Tour Ixalan. It went 8-2 in the standard portion, which is pretty sweet. I haven't really seen it. I've never played a mirror, I guess, in my many games on Magic Online, so I feel like it's not real common there. The deck's pretty cheap, which is nice. You save a lot on your mana base being mono white, but mostly this deck is really based around Oketra's Monument. You play this, and then you play a whole bunch of cheap white spells, and make a whole bunch of counters, and then go really wide with things like Metallic Mimic, Angel of Invention, and Shafet Dunes, and just kind of try and overrun your opponent with a bunch of medium to small level creatures. Legion Conquistador is an all-star in this deck, despite not being an all-star in I think any other format ever. But you play this with Oketra's Monument, and you get 2 creatures out of it, and then you go to search your library and get a whole bunch more. Works well with Aviary Mechanic as well. If you have an Aviary Mechanic in play and a Monument in play, and you play another mechanic, you can keep bouncing them back and forth and make as many tokens as you have white mana, so that's pretty sweet. Legion's Landing gives you a whole lot of reach. Danto Vanguard's a great beatdown card. Metallic Mimic's pretty sweet with all your vampires and or warriors you're creating. And we also get a pretty reasonable removal package with Ixalan's Binding, Cast Out, and Thopter Arrest, which we have a couple in the sideboard as well. I think this deck's main claim to fame is the fact that it seems to be very, very good against Temur Energy. I feel like you got slightly better than even split on winning in your first game. A lot of times you just go wide, you can chump block their Longtusk Cubs and their Hydras until you can finally kill them off with Shafet Dunes or resolve an Angel and just keep beating in over the top. And Dust to Dawn really kind of helps your sideboard plan against the deck as well. The only real thing that is annoying in that deck is the Whirler Virtuoso, and I definitely have died to Thopters a couple times. But that's, I guess, most of the deck. We have Gideon's Intervention for Approach of the Second Sun. I knew you should play 2 of these. Approach of the Second Sun is not one of our favorite matchups. I feel like I'm not favored there, and you have to get a little bit lucky to win. And Gideon's Intervention, if you resolve it, it's pretty absurd against it, since it just removes their win condition. Angel of Sanctions, pretty good. Glorybound Yashietes and Aethersphere Harvester against very aggressive decks. I don't know, I guess that's about it. Let's run into some matches. I'll see you guys for match 1. Alright, we're back for match 1. Have kind of a not great hand here. I think we are going to ship this back. We do have a whole bunch of 2-drops. If we hit a land drop in our first 2 draws, we are in a pretty good spot because we can get going with the Danto Vanguards, and then if we hit another one, we can play Maverick Fane. But there's a good chance this hand just does absolutely nothing too. I'm going to ship it back. I think we can do better. Well, this looks worse. It's alright. Opponent's mulligan down to 5. I think we are going to keep here, despite not having a 2-drop. We do have Legion Conquistador, which does a good job of digging yourself out from a mulligan. And we have Cast Out, which can help us give 1 more draw to find our planes. We have to find 1 more land, but I think we're likely to get at least 2, and then we can play a lot of the cards in the deck as well. Let's go ahead and keep. Opponent keeps at 5 here, and we're going to put that on top. Okay, so we don't have a crazy fast start. Ooh, I'm playing mono red, it looks like here. This is, I feel like kind of an even matchup. Bowmat Courier is going to help my opponent quite a bit, though. I'm not going to have a good answer for this for a couple of turns. And he's going to get to recoup a lot of his mulligan loss. This deck has no real cheap removal. We do have Ixalan's Binding, which is pretty good against the deck. Takes care of Hazaret. Your opponent's very unlikely to have a good answer. think we are going to cycle away the cast out. I want to find a little bit faster interaction, and we do have a couple of Ixalan binding at 4 anyway. Yeah, this courier is going to get my opponent some really, really good value. Yep. Okay, no follow-up play is good for us, though. Okay, another land. 2-drop would be fantastic. So, still don't have anything to play, but we're going to get to drop a Legion Conquistador and get a whole bunch more. So even if he burns out that Conquistador, we're still going to be able to get a couple... We'll be playing threats consistently for a couple of turns. Another Sun-Scorched Desert. Probably not what my opponent's hoping for. It is, I guess, once in a while it does burn you a little bit. Aha, burn in mono red. Ooh, that's kind of interesting. So I could just stop to arrest right now. That keeps my opponent from drawing 3 somewhere down the road. I think I like that. It's possible my opponent just blanks thereafter. And I think we've got a lot of value in our hand, so I think we can win a game if my opponent isn't drawing a bunch of extra cards. I'm just going to Thopter Arrest here. That's nice too, because the cards are gone for good. Alright, and I think it's possible. Okay, well, Ruins makes that a little bit worse, because that does mean my opponent's going to have some plays here. Let's see. Zev. Reasonable, if not crazy. So we could play 1 Ixalan's Binding there, just take care of it. We're not going to have a great block for a while. And it's possible my opponent's going to have some removal. I think we do, just binding that. It's a little bit mana efficient. We still have 1 more for the inevitable Hazaret. Yeah. I don't think I hate this. We don't get quite as much value off the Ixalan's Binding hitting Zev, since it's not a card that the mono red deck always plays 4 of. It's interesting. So we haven't played any creatures, actually. Okay, my opponent has no play there, which means he's probably got some removal in hand. Fortunately, Legion Conquistador is a pretty good card against removal spells, so this is going to gain us a lot of value here. Okay, go and grab those 3. Can't play up a follow-up. Yeah, this is an unusual opening for our deck. Just going to shoot it. Lightning Strike. Okay. I think my opponent's most likely to be like holding onto a Hazaret or something, maybe even a couple, and hoping to hit a land and just slam that. But Ixalan's Binding does a fairly good job of avoiding that. So this turn, I guess we can't quite play Legion's Landing and 2 Conquistadors, but we'll play 2 Conquistadors, then next turn play Mavern Fane, and hopefully all 3 of those cards, and get a whole bunch of tokens. And that might be enough to put the game away from there. Don't need to use the ability. Got the Scavenger Ground, which will be nice to get rid of any Eternalize shenanigans my opponent might be playing as well. No ability. Yeah, I think using the Thopter Arrest when we did was pretty solid. Oh, wow. Green. Deathcourt Scavenger. Interesting. So he's not mono red. Not mono red at all. Okay. That was not what I expected to see, certainly. Sun-Scorched Desert, Ramanap Ruins, but splashing for green. Alright. Well, we're going to swing with both Legion Conquistadors, play Mavern Fane, Legion Landing, which we won't quite be able to flip yet, unfortunately. I don't think I want to Binding this right off the bat. It's interesting you didn't choose to gain life there. Why'd you do that? I would think you just grab it immediately. Worried about us bringing a cast out back somehow? I can't think of any reason you do that. That usually means I'm just not being clever enough. Alright. Let's go ahead and crack with both of our conquistadors here. Get another vampire token. I imagine my opponent will just take this. Yep. And we'll play a conquistador here. And a landing. I think there's maybe a slight argument to not playing the landing. In case my opponent's got some way to remove it before next turn, but we would like to be able to activate it next turn as well, and that is 4 mana, so if we want to play like Binding and draw something else, potentially we wouldn't be able to activate the landing. I think that's more likely than my opponent having an answer for it here. 3 Sunscorched Deserts. Opponent's done more damage with those than anything else. Playing Kari Zev too? What an odd... Okay, my opponent concedes. I have not seen this deck before. I'm going to err on the side that it's more mono-red, less Deathgorge Scavenger until we see more. Ramming up Ruins and Sunscorched Deserts definitely makes me think aggressive. So I'm not going to bring in Dusk to Dawn, even though that's maybe a little bit better against a lot of the green. We are going to bring in the Harvesters, Glorybound Initiate. I like quite a bit. Mavericks Fane I think is too slow, especially on the draw here. Thopter Rest is fine. I like Ixalan's Binding because it catches Hazaret and potentially Glorybringer or anything else big that they're playing. Vanguard is maybe not the best. On defense, it's pretty bad. If you're on the offense, it's quite solid. Maybe we cut those, though. Bring in a Thopter Rest and cut maybe a Cast Out. Do something like that. We did lower our curve just a little bit, not dramatically. So maybe losing the Cast Out's not the end of the world. Cast Out has the advantage that's Flash against Glorybringer if he's playing that, but Binding, I think, having the lasting effect is pretty good too. Alright, let's try this. Problem with Vanguard is a lot of times it's just a 1-1 on defense, and you don't really very often want to pay to regenerate it, or I guess make it indestructible. Okay, this hand's quite good. Just a tad bit land heavy, but we're definitely going to keep. Looks like my opponent is also holding on to his 7. Regorge. Okay, maybe this is a budget deck if you're playing Timber's Regorge then. Certainly nothing wrong with that. One of the reasons we're playing this deck, and one of the reasons why I've learned to play it, is because it is relatively cheap. Trying another land there wasn't particularly good. This also has the merit of being a pretty fun, fairly, has a lot of sort of combo elements that appeal to me, but is also kind of straightforward, which I think is good for my first attempt at Standard. So I think if he has no 1-drop and no 2-drop, it's not unlikely he has removal here, so I'm actually going to play the Aviary mechanic, because I'd really like to stick the Glorybound Initiate. Not going to use the ability. And well, did get shot in a turn. Maybe this is like a bigger Dino Z deck or something. Scavenger? Frostodon. Eh? Frostodon's pretty solid against us. I would like to be able to use Vampire's Zeal defensively, but I think that's too dangerous into removal, so we're going to swing with our Aviary mechanic. He probably won't block, but maybe he'll call me out on it. This deck doesn't usually run a Vampire's Zeal. I've actually added this just on my own, but yeah. Opponent not going to call, which is fine. Does make our Glorybound Initiate significantly worse, though. I'd love to find a Thopter Arrest for the Frostodon. This card is one of the best cards in mono red against us. And probably is going to be one of the better cards in this contraption my opponent's playing against us as well. Okay, yep, rip. Alright, we'll take our chunk down to 16. Okay, so we did draw the Ixalan's Binding there, which is nice. I think we probably just go for it. Rampaging Froston is definitely one of the better cards against us. So the question is, do we swing first or remove first? I guess swing first. We'd like him to use removal on this. That's his plan. Doesn't look like it though. I do not blame, certainly. Okay. Player Ixalan's Binding. Hope that my opponent doesn't interact with this. Blossoming Defense. It's not great. Alright. So no target for the binding there. We did get the Blossoming Defense out of my opponent's hand on his turn, which is kind of nice, but... Ooh, another Frostodon. This might be tough. I'm thinking we probably do want to bring into Dustodon against this deck. I'm not sure he's playing Hazoret, but he's playing a lot of 3-power, pretty solid creatures. Alright, Metallic Mimic. Probably toss that out and choose Warrior. Up our Glory Bound Initiate ever so slightly. We are going to swing with our Aviary Mechanic. Take 7 going back on the next turn if he doesn't block. Do we have to keep stuff back? Probably not. We will have Vampire Zeal up, which is a little bit awkward, but if we buff like the Metallic Mimic, it will... After we've blocked, he can't get rid of both creatures. Let's go ahead and swing. I don't think it's real likely he blocks, but if he does, I will oblige. Oh, let's play our Mimic first. And we'll choose Warrior. And it's just going to take so much damage from these. I think we really have to hope the Vampire Zeal works, and even that might be a little bit suspect. We get on to 9 here. We can crack back for 11 next turn, so I guess it's possible if he plays another creature we could kill him. Probably not. Shafet Dunes, I guess. And we could Vampire Zeal. That is a lot. Earthshaker Kenra. Okay, it's not quite enough to kill us if he doesn't have anything else. So we might actually be able to win on the crackback. It goes down to 11 here. I'll swing for 8. We can exert for 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 12. So actually I guess my opponent's got to be aware that we could kill him back even without the Vampire Zeal being hidden. Which means maybe he's just got like a Blossoming Defense here. And he's just going to go for lethal. Lock. He has Blossoming Defense, it's not great for us. Although, if he didn't have lethal, he wouldn't swing here, because we have lethal on board. I think we have to block, unfortunately. Then the question becomes, do we Vampire Zeal? We Vampire Zeal, we trade for a Blossoming Defense. We're going to go down to 3. Yeah, I think we do. Either one of these is lethal, but I think we want to get it out of my opponent's hand. Our best chance is drawing like a Conquistador. Even then, I'm not sure we've got this or not, but my opponent doesn't have anything. This is better for us too, because we do have lethal with the Shafet Dunes. Nothing. Interesting. We have Magma Spray then. That seems like next most likely. He has Magma Spray. Right now we can crack. This is 3, 6. This will die. Although if it's Magma Spray, he has to kill in response, right? So we might as well crack, see if he kills it. This is 5, 6. I guess that's still not enough though. I think we have to go for it. I mean, next turn we're dead. I think that's probably likely. Yeah. Maybe we should have Not blocked? I don't know. It's hard to tell. So we have pretty much exactly lethal here. Let's see if we get him. If he's got any removal at all, it's not going to be good enough. Oh, alright. Well, managed to beat the Devil Raging Ferocidon, or Rampaging Ferocidon. That was an odd deck my opponent's playing. I'm kind of curious what the full list looks like. But I guess we'll be happy with our 1-0. I'll see you guys for match 2.